High Counselor Vextari had reviewed thousands of First Contact cultural packages during her 2 centuries of service to the Galactic Council. Each new species submitted entertainment media, educational materials, and historical records to demonstrate their civilization's development and values. Earth's submission was extensive. Suspiciously extensive. They've provided over 40,000 hours of video content, her assistant, a young Zinthari named Cormal, reported. Organized into something called streaming services and cable channels. I've begun preliminary analysis of the educational programming. Start with their historical documentation, Vextari instructed. A species past reveals its character. Look for something called. She checked the Human Manifest, History Channel. Their representatives indicated it was their primary educational resource for historical events. Cormal began the analysis at 0800 hours. By 1100 hours, he had called an emergency council session. The council chamber filled rapidly, representatives from 47 species gathering in response to Cormal's unprecedented priority alert. Vextari took her seat at the central podium, her concern growing as she noticed the Zinthari's usual mathematical composure had been replaced by something approaching existential dread. Counselors, Cormal began, his translator struggling to render his distressed harmonic frequencies, I have spent the past 3 hours reviewing Earth's historical documentation. I believe we have made a critical error in our assessment of humanity. He activated the main holographic display. Footage from Earth's History Channel began to play. This is from a program called Deadliest Warrior, Cormal explained. It appears to be an educational analysis of human combat techniques across their history. The council watched as humans in various historical periods demonstrated weapons and tactics. Vikings wielding axes. Samurai with swords. Apache warriors with atlatls. Roman soldiers in formation. Note, Cormal said, highlighting specific frames, that these are not theoretical reconstructions. These are practical demonstrations. Humans testing historical weapons on ballistic gel approximations of their own biology to determine lethality. Ambassador Kreltios of the Tharn Collective leaned forward. This is concerning but not unprecedented. Many species study their martial history. Wait, Cormal interrupted, which itself was alarming. Zinthari never interrupted. That's not the concerning part. He pulled up another program. Ancient Aliens. A multi-season documentary series examining humanity's historical contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. The chamber fell silent. I'm sorry, Vextari said slowly, did you say historical contact? Earth has been classified as a pre-contact civilization. We are there first. That's what we believed, Cormal said. But according to 47 seasons of this program, humans have been documenting potential alien contact for decades. They have theories about our involvement in their pyramids, their ancient temples, their technological developments. He pulled up image after image, ancient artwork that humans interpreted as depicting spacecraft, architectural achievements they attributed to alien intervention, historical texts describing beings from the sky. Counselors, Cormal's voice carried a weight that silenced the growing murmurs, they've been expecting us. For thousands of years, they've been preparing for this moment. And they've been documenting every possibility. Delegate Sheravin of the Karelian hegemony made a dismissive gesture. Surely this is simply imaginative speculation. Primitive civilizations often create myths about. I thought so too, Cormal interrupted again. Then I found America's Book of Secrets. New footage appeared. Humans discussing classified government programs, hidden military installations, covert operations spanning decades. This species, Cormal said, his mathematical consciousness clearly struggling with the implications, documents their own secrets. They create entertainment about their classified programs. They theorize about their own government's hidden activities and broadcast it to their entire population. He pulled up more programs in rapid succession. The Universe, a series where they theorize about cosmic phenomena with startling accuracy despite limited technology. Engineering Disasters, where they meticulously document their failures and analyze what went wrong. The Men Who Built America, celebrating individuals who transformed their civilization through industry and innovation. Modern Marvels, documenting their technological achievements with pride. And he paused, his voice dropping, Life After People. The final program showed Earth cities crumbling, nature reclaiming human civilization, a detailed analysis of what would happen if humanity suddenly vanished. They made entertainment, Cormall said quietly, about their own extinction. They theorized, in explicit detail, about the end of their species. And they aired it publicly. Vextari felt her chromatophores cycling through colors of deep concern. Why would any species? Because they're not afraid of it, Cormall said. Every other species in our records treats extinction as an unthinkable horror. Humans analyze it academically. They study how their buildings would decay, how their vehicles would rust, how their monuments would crumble. They look at their own end with the same scientific curiosity they apply to everything else. He pulled up one final program, Forged in Fire. On screen, humans competed to create bladed weapons using ancient techniques. They tested these weapons by striking them against simulated flesh, ice, bone, and armor. Winners were celebrated for creating the most effective tools of violence. This is a competition show, Cormall explained. Humans voluntarily spend weeks creating weapons using techniques that are thousands of years obsolete. They are judged by experts on killing efficiency. The winner receives a title and a small monetary prize. But why? Delegate Sheravin asked. What purpose does this serve in a modern civilization? Because they enjoy it, Cormall said. They find joy in understanding how to make things that can kill. Not because they want to kill, but because they want to understand. They study warfare like we study mathematics. They analyze violence like we analyze art. They theorize about aliens not from fear, but from curiosity. He closed the displays and faced the council directly. Humans have spent their entire recorded history fighting, theorizing, building, destroying, documenting, and learning. They broadcast their strengths and their vulnerabilities with equal enthusiasm. They make entertainment about their own apocalypse. They compete to create weapons they will never use. The chamber remained silent. Finally, Ambassador Tal Soren of the Velkari, the species who had first contacted humanity, spoke. What are you suggesting, Cormall? I'm suggesting, the Zinthari replied, that we have severely underestimated what it means that humans survived on a Class 9 death world. It's not just that their planet tried to kill them. It's that they documented every method it used, analyzed every failure, and turned survival into entertainment and education. He pulled up a final image, the History Channel's logo, and beneath it, their tagline, History Made Every Day. They don't just learn from their past, Cormall said. They obsess over it. They debate it. They theorize about it. They recreate it. Every war, every disaster, every achievement, every secret, they document it all and broadcast it to their entire species. They are a civilization built on collective memory and systematic analysis of everything that has ever tried to kill them. Vextari reviewed the data streams, her concern deepening with each passing moment. How much of this content did you review? Approximately 3%, Cormall admitted. At current processing speed, it would take me 4 years to review just the History Channel's complete library. And that's one channel. They have hundreds. He highlighted additional services, Netflix, YouTube, Discovery, National Geographic, PBS, BBC. They have archived their entire civilization, he continued. Every triumph, every failure, every theory, every secret. And they've made it available to anyone with a basic viewing device. A human child can access detailed documentation of their species' most devastating wars, most brilliant innovations, and most catastrophic failures. That's. Delegate Kreshval of the Kravash Dominion searched for words, tactically insane. Why would any species broadcast their vulnerabilities? Because, came a new voice from the chamber entrance, we learned a long time ago that the best way to prevent mistakes is to make sure everyone knows about the last one. The council turned to see Ambassador David Park of Earth standing at the visitors' podium, a slight smile on his face. Ambassador Park, Vextari said, fighting to keep her voice steady, you were not scheduled to address the council until next week. I know, David replied. But my assistant monitors galactic communications, and when she saw that someone had triggered an emergency council session after watching the History Channel. He shrugged, I figured I should probably show up and answer questions. He pulled up his own holographic display, showing more Earth programming, how it's made, Mythbusters, Cosmos, Planet Earth. Here's what you need to understand about humans, David said. We're curious. Obsessively, dangerously curious. We document everything because we want to understand everything. We study our failures because we don't want to repeat them. We theorize about aliens because we want to be ready when you arrive. We make competition shows about ancient weapons because we think it's fun to understand how things work. He met Vextari's eyes directly. You called an emergency session because you think our openness is a vulnerability. But counselor, it's our strength. Every species in this chamber keeps secrets, hides failures, controls information. We broadcast ours. Because we learned that knowledge shared is knowledge preserved. Cormel's mathematical consciousness processed this. But the program about life after humans is a reminder, David interrupted gently, that nothing lasts forever. Not civilizations, not species, not even planets. So we document what we can, while we can, and hope someone learns from it. Even if that someone is whatever comes after us. He smiled at the assembled council. You wanted to understand human character by studying our history. Well, congratulations, you've just discovered that humans are the species that turned survival into education, warfare into analysis, and even our own extinction into a thought experiment. But why? Vextari asked, genuinely confused. Why document everything? Why broadcast your secrets? David pulled up one final program, Cosmos, Carl Sagan's documentary series about the universe. The image showed Earth, a pale blue dot suspended in a sunbeam. Because, David said softly, we know we're small. We know we're fragile. We know that the universe is vast and indifferent. So we document everything, study everything, and share everything, because if we're going to be a small, brief flash in cosmic history, we're damn well going to make sure that flash is bright enough to be seen. The council chamber remained silent for a long moment. Finally, Vextari spoke. Ambassador Park, I believe we need to revise our assessment of humanity's readiness for galactic integration. Take your time, David said. We've been waiting for thousands of years. What's a few more months? He paused at the doorway. Oh, and Cormel? If you really want to understand humans, skip the History Channel for now. Try The Great British Baking Show. It'll explain why a species that can document its own extinction also makes competition shows about cake. After he left, Cormel pulled up the suggested program. He watched for exactly 7 minutes before calling a second emergency session. But that's another story. Kindly like and subscribe channel, thank you.